Our first case this morning is Mr. Gary Clements. Mr. Clements, if you would give us your full name and DOC number.
Gregory Todd Clements, 425-763.
Mr. Clements, I want to explain our process to you. First, I'm going to read some information into the record, and then the board will conduct a parole interview with you. At the appropriate time, we will allow the participants who have indicated that they wish to speak to have any input they wish to have. The speakers are going to be Ms. Kayla Hurd, your sister, Mr. Michael Harris, your cousin, and April Hurd, your sister, is also present on Zoom, but she has chosen not to speak. At the end of that, you'll be allowed to make a brief statement before the board votes. Do you understand our process?
Yes, sir.
This matter is Gregory T. Clements, DOC number 425-763. Mr. Clements' date of birth is January the 12th of 1975. He's classified as a second felony offender. His parole eligibility date is August the 18th of 2022. His adjusted good time date is April the 19th of 2029. His full term date is April the 19th of 2034. He is currently serving a 20-year sentence on 2 counts of carnal knowledge of a juvenile, having been sentenced on April the 20th of 2017. Mr. Clements, is all of this accurate?
Yes, sir, it is.
Clements, your case was assigned to me, so I will begin the interview process. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir, just fine.
I'm having trouble hearing you. Is the microphone near you, or can you get closer to it?
Get a little closer, sir. I'm sorry. Is that better?
That works well. I can hear you very well there. Thank you. Mr. Clements, I note that you're 47 years old. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Correct.
How long have you been in prison on these charges?
Just over 8 years.
Mr. Clements, tell me a little bit about these crimes. Tell me what you did and why you did it.
I sexually abused a child.
Well, I do understand that. That's very generic. What did you do specifically?
Sir, there's no excuses for what I've done. Please don't take what I'm supposed to tell you as an excuse, because there is no justification, no excuse for the crime I committed. I was a methamphetamine addict in the late 90s, mid-2000s. Methamphetamine changed me the worst of ways. It brought the worst out of me. Something I never knew could ever be possible. I have deep remorse. Regret for what I've done today. Sir, I don't know where my mind was at, but it sure wasn't right. So wrong.
Mr. Clement, I want to explore this a little more with you, because I've been at this business for many, many, many years. I have been involved with methamphetamine addicts for the longest time. I ran a drug court for 14 years. Very few of them rape and molest young women. You have 3 convictions. You were convicted of this in 2006. Tell me about that. Who was the victim in that case?
It was a sexual contact case, yes, sir.
Who was that victim?
Last name was Bickham.
I mean, was it related to you in any way? How were you even around that young child?
I was living next door with the woman on the property of her parents.
And that was their child?
Yes,
Were you living was she living in the same house as you?
No, sir. Her name was Candace Bickham.
And so how is it that you and she got together?
Sir, we didn't get together, but I went into her bedroom to get a telephone. and I should have never went in that bedroom. And I ended up with the charge, sir, of sexual contact of a juvenile.
So you're telling me that didn't happen?
Yes, sir, it happened.
All right. So were you using methamphetamines then?
Yes, sir.
Did you go to prison for that charge?
Yes, sir, I did.
For how long?
I had a 6-year sentence.
How long? How much did you do?
I did all but 2 weeks of it. It was ran for
Okay.
time.
Did you take sex offender treatment back then?
Yes, I did. Yes, sir, I did.
You took how many phases of sex offender treatment the first time you were in prison?
Sir, I believe it was 6 phases. I believe.
Okay.
I believe.
And then, did you take any substance abuse treatment while you were in prison at that time also?
No, sir, they had none to offer.
Were you on methamphetamines at the time this happened?
Yes, sir, I was.
Now you got out
Yes, sir.
and you committed these offenses again. What did you learn from the sex offender treatment the first time?
Sir, I learned not get high. I learned to stay straight. I learned to not put myself in any position, any situation gives me access to anyone under 18 years old unless there's adult supervision present.
Okay. Well, you learned that, but you didn't do it. Why?
Sir, I felt in myself that I could never reoffend ever again in any way.
And you probably really believed that, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
And look what happened.
Sir, the charges that I'm on are from 20 plus years ago, currently on, sir. From 98, 2001.
So what have you learned while you've been in prison this time?
I've learned if I let God, if I include God in everything I do, I can't go wrong. I've learned that I never want to get high again in my life. I despise that life. I despise what I've done.
Tell me what you've done for your substance abuse issues.
I completed the substance abuse program, 12 steps, and I-10 AANA when it's available.
How do you plan on staying sober?
Yes, sir. Without a doubt. How? I'm sorry.
Yeah. How do you intend on staying sober?
Sir, I'm gonna find me the nearest available AANA, preferably a faith-based organization. I'm gonna go every day of the week if that's what it takes. I'm gonna spend time with my family. I'm going to work, getting on somebody's payroll. I'm a welder by trade. I can do a little bit of everything. I'm going to work. I'm finding me a church, and I'm going to church, sir. I'm gonna do my work.
Since you've been back in prison, have you retaken the sex offender program?
Yes, sir, I did.
So tell me what new information you may have learned to look into yourself personally that may have helped you.
Sir, I know to never indulge in whatsoever in any kind of mind-altering substances, whatever it be. Anything would impair my ability to use interventions. I don't know what came out of me somehow, some way, and I'll never make anyone a victim ever again.
When was the last time you used meth or any other illegal substances?
A long time, sir.
What's a long time?
2000, I think 2011.
So when you got out of prison on the charge in 2006, when you realized what you had done and it was methamphetamines that were still driving you, you got out and you still continued to use meth for a while?
No, sir, I got high and I had a horrible time. You know what the voice, what I heard, sir? You know why? You know who it was? That was God. I began to get my mind together.
How did you do that? What kind of treatment were you taking at the time? You said you didn't get any substance abuse treatment the first time you were in prison. How were you able to get off methamphetamines?
I had a newborn son. I met someone and she became pregnant. And I just wanted to raise that little boy the right way. He's 9 years old now. He was 11 and a half months old when I came to prison.
Did you just stop using methamphetamines cold, or did you go to treatment? What did you do besides getting a baby? I mean, methamphetamines are very addictive.
I knew that what the possibilities could be, the repercussions. It was all bad, terribly, terribly horrible. And I thank God.
What do you think your actions, how do you think your actions have affected these young girls?
I can't imagine. I can't imagine how much pain I've caused. It torments me, and it should. It should. I have so much remorse, regret what I've done.
Now, it's my understanding that after you completed the sex offender treatment classes, you still continue to go to sex offender treatment. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Tell me why.
Did I continued? I repeated the sex offender program because I
No,
can't.
no. It's my understanding from reading your report that you have completed the sex offender treatment program and you still go and take available sex offender treatment classes whenever they're available to you. Is that correct?
I'm down as a part-time tutor to try to help others.
Okay, tell me about your job as a tutor or your role as a tutor for sex offender treatment.
Just try to get people to first realize, admit that they have a problem, because you have guys that just do it for paperwork, for the paper trail, sir, and for parole possibilities and things. You got people that are in denial. I was in denial at one time.
Mr. Clement, I'm going to be real honest with you as I review your report, and because of your record and because of what you've done, I'm very, very concerned about an early release for you. Tell me what you've learned about yourself that sort of motivated this. And I understand methamphetamines, I understand drug addiction, I understand all of those things. But there obviously is something inside of you that prompted you to do these things. What have you discovered about that? What have you thought about why you did these things? And meth is a potential reason, but that's not why you did this. I mean, usually people on meth rob people, steal things, but they don't normally go out and molest young girls. So what is it that you've been able to learn about yourself that's caused this, and what can we do about it? What are you going to do about it?
Sir, I will take sex offender treatment from now on if I feel like that's what it
well, I hear that. I hear that. But my question to you is, you have gone through the sex offender treatment program twice, and you are currently a tutor. What have you been able to determine about yourself that prompted you to do this? I mean, do you have an addiction for young women? Is there something in your makeup that makes them sexually attractive to you? I mean, what have you learned about why you did what you did?
So I learned when I do methamphetamines, there's an evilness. There's a sick something come out of me, sir, and animalistic. It's no, God is taking it from me, sir. I've allowed God to take it from me. I have no desire. When I see children, it makes me want to cry sometimes because I know what I've done before. When I see it, it brings tears in my eyes because I'm done. I can never do like that ever again.
Now, in looking at your record, you've had one write-up since you've been in prison. Is that right?
Yes,
And that was
yes,
recent. That was recent. Tell me what happened.
February 21, I had a pair of jeans that were out of compliance. I had holes in them, worn out above the knees. They were my favorite pair of jeans. I asked to talk to the captain or some ranking officer concerning the jeans, and the officer didn't want to let me talk to anyone about them, and I got a write-up.
Knew you weren't supposed to be wearing those jeans.
Yes, sir.
But that's your only write-up in 8 years, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about your education. How far did you go in school?
Sir, 12th grade.
Did you graduate?
No, sir, I did not graduate.
Did you get your GED?
I'm currently enrolled in school. I'm on the waiting list. The pandemic has had things backed up, but I'm on the waiting list. I took the second TABE test since I've been here, maybe 6 weeks ago, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago.
Been in prison. You were in prison for 6 years before the pandemic hit, and you were in prison 4 or 5 years before that. Did you ever try to get your GED back then?
So I encourage the education to everyone. I can read, write, spell, add, subtract, multiply, and divide very well. The only two things I didn't learn in school was algebra and geometry. Now, for the line of work I do, construction, welding, I've never needed it in my life. That doesn't mean that I don't need a GED. Just I've never, not that I'm too smart, obviously.
Tell me a little bit about your work history. What kind of work did you do when you were on the outside?
I'm a welder, sir, by trade. I've been welding since I was 15 years old. But I can do about anything. Electrical, carpentry, auto mechanic.
Primarily you're a welder. Is that what you did for a living?
Structural welding, yes, sir.
And tell me a little bit about your transition plan. Where do you anticipate living when you get out?
My father lives nearby me, 9045 Blanchard Road, and he lives alone by himself. There's plenty of job opportunities available.
Where are you going to be living at?
9045 Blanchard.
Which city?
Shreveport.
Shreveport.
Yes, sir.
And have you checked to make sure your father is not close to a school, that he is in a residence where you'll be able to live?
Yes, sir, I have.
Is there someone there that can tell us a little bit about how Mr. Clements has been doing there? There's someone in there with you?
Yes, someone to speak on my behalf of what I've been doing. I think they're going to get someone, sir.
Okay, all right. Well, I've got a couple more questions, or observations. You do have law enforcement opposition. There's nothing you can do about that, though you've got some victim opposition as well. What would you say to the victims today if you had an opportunity to address?
Stay Rickland. I regret so badly what I've done to you. Look to me for guidance in life, and I failed you in the most miserable way. I can't imagine how much pain I've caused you. I'm so sorry. I pray someday if I continue yourself to forgive me for what I've done to you. And may God bless you in every way.
While we're waiting for someone to come in there, do we have any questions?
Mr. Clements, I've seen your responses to the questions, and you seem to have a level of remorse, and I'm glad to see that because, initially you denied having done anything. You reached the point where you're accepting responsibility. In the Texas case, how old was the little girl in that case?
I believe she was 11.
11. And your stepdaughter, we'll call her your stepdaughter, was about 7 or so when your abuse started with her. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And then, of course, we do have some information that you not only abused her, but you abused one of your own biological daughters. Is that correct?
You couldn't understand each other.
Ma'am,
Yes or no answer?
I hugged my daughter. She took some things out of context. I think being the background that I have.
What did you do? What did you do that she took out of context?
I hugged her and she said that the way I squeezed against her, my groin.
Did you hug her from the front or the back?
From the back.
Mm-hmm. And you said that you were rubbing your genital area against her behind.
I didn't mean anything to be sexual about it.
Again, I'm just asking the questions, Mr. Clements.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You took victim awareness, correct?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And although you expressed remorse, it's more directed to how you feel about the situation and not so much what this had actually done to Ricky and the daughter. And I think there was a friend of hers also that might have been the recipient of some level of inappropriate content. But how do you think your early release was strong? You think your early release was further traumatized her?
I'm sorry, ma'am. Broke up just a little bit.
You were released early, that would cause more distress and more trauma to Rickman.
I would pray not.
I didn't say would pray not. I said, do you think it would cause her more trauma if you were released early?
Can't answer. I don't know, ma'am. I don't know. I can't imagine how she must feel. I don't know the answers. I can't speak for her. I don't know, man.
Would you be surprised to know that she thinks you shouldn't get an early release? You should serve every day of your sentence, and that she's fearful.
I never do anything to hurt her in my life again. Whatsoever, I wish her nothing but the best in this world.
But those are certainly her fears and her concerns, and I'm sure you can understand why she might feel that way.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
What about your own biological daughter? Have you had any contact with her since your incarceration?
I talked to her, it's been several years ago since I talked to her. It's been several years, man.
And you have 4 children with Rickland's mother, or 3? How many children do you have with Rickland's mother?
3 children. That
Okay.
was so bad.
Well, you may hurt so bad, but think about how, if you hurt this much, how much do you think Rickland must hurt? And you're
Yes, ma'am, I hurt. Hurt everybody I love the most.
I'm not trying to traumatize you, Mr. Clements, but I'm trying to get you to understand how traumatizing the sexual crime you committed, but how traumatizing it is to even think that you might be released early, how that would further add to the trauma that's already been experienced in this case.
Yes, ma'am, I understand. I understand. I understand.
Thank you, Mr. Clements.
Chairman Bell, before you
Yes.
living, and Ms. Jackson, I apologize for being a few minutes late. I know y'all,
That's okay. Tell us what you can about Mr. Clement.
I got detained for a few minutes, so again, I apologize. Clemens
Okay.
he's got an excellent institutional record. He's been here almost 3 years. He's had one write-up over 15 months ago. He's participated in a lot of programming, including phases 1 through 4 of the sex offender treatment program. He's been in AA and NA, actively involved in that. So his institutional record is very good, excellent. I would say excellent. He has excellent institutional record. I see Colonel Todd gave him a good work evaluation as well, and he's not a problem inmate. He does what he's supposed to do when he's supposed to do it, follows the rules. And everything that he's expected to do, he does. He is a second offender, and obviously the charges he has is something that the board would have to consider. But as far as his institutional record, it's very good.
Thank you very much, Gordon. We appreciate your comments. Ms. Wise, you have a question?
Sir, I'm just curious, Mr. Clements, were you touched in any way as a child by anybody? Were you violated in any way as a child?
No, ma'am, I was not.
You were not. Thank you. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clement. We'll now hear from your supporters. Ms. Kayla Hurd, your sister. Ms. Hurd, if you would please tell us what you'd like us to know about your brother. Hurd, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. I just can't see the video anymore.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure what happened, but if you'd like to, why don't you just tell us what it is you'd like us to know? We can hear you very well. There you go.
Um, through this time, you know, in the past, I've never heard my brother talk about a plan or goals that he has. He's never recognized a problem that he had in the past. And over these last few years, he's recognized and acknowledged to me the issues that he has. I recently asked him if he had a plan or any goals for when he gets out. What does he plan to do? The first thing on his list was join NAAA and any type of treatment that he needs those resources to make sure that he doesn't make any same mistakes he made in the past. Like he told y'all, he wants to get a job. He wants to open a bank account. He wants to be a productive citizen of society. He has a young son that he stayed active in his life from prison. Even though he was just a baby when he went to prison, Case knows who his dad is. I think that's important. He missed a lot of time with his other 3 kids. He can't get that time back. There is damage there that has to be repaired. I feel like it'll be on their time and their terms, and he understands that, and that's okay. He has support from his family. I truly feel that if he's given a chance at early release, y'all will never see him back. He won't put himself in a situation where he could return to prison or jail of any sort. I don't have an explanation for his past or what he's done. I think he's explained it to y'all, you know, pretty well. But as far as support and love from his family, he has that. And I truly believe that he has been rehabilitated, and he's acknowledged his wrongs and he's accepted. He's not in denial anymore.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hurd. We do appreciate your comments.
Thank you.
Mr. Michael Harris.
Yes, good morning.
Harris. Good morning, Mr. Harris. How are you? Tell us
Just
what you'd
one
like us to know about your cousin.
Well, first off, he is my first cousin, but in all honesty, in all intent and purposes, we're really like brothers. We grew up together. He pretty much stayed at our house as a child every weekend and throughout the summers when we were growing up, and then he actually came to live with us. So I do feel like our bond is a little bit closer than just a cousin speaking. I just want to say one thing is that I guess my own perceptions of when people do things have been changed because of this. You know, you hear the allegations and of course the conviction, and then you think, I mean, I used to always think that was always just somebody that was completely evil. But he's not. I know his heart. I've grown up with him. I know what he's capable of. I know that that's not something that he ever even would dream of doing under normal circumstances. I guess the more important thing is what actually makes me feel better about everything is the most recently I have probably some of the most current knowledge about how he would do after he gets out of prison. All of the things that he's convicted of now did occur in the past, and that was one of the things that I did feel a little bit sorry for him about, because when he got out, I was staying at the home that we grew up in. And of course, he was needing a place to stay at a certain point, and so he lived with me. So he lived with me after he got out of prison this last time. I did see a change. I did see a change in his mannerisms. I saw a change in who he was. I saw he was trying to do the right things. He had gone out, he had gotten a job. I was happy. I was very happy for him. It's unfortunate, by all means. I'm not taking anything away from what he did. It was kind of unfortunate that these were things in the past. I guess it would be a lot easier for me to accept it if he had done these things after he got out of prison, and I could say, well, he didn't learn his lesson. But he was trying to do the right things, and like I said, I had a firsthand account of that. So I do think that this was something that allowed him to reflect and look back, get treatment, And I second what Kayla said. I've talked to him. He has been so remorseful, emotionally remorseful, which actually makes me feel better about it. And I really do think that he wants to come out and try to be a productive member of society. And like Kayla said, he does have support. He has his family. We're all willing to help him do whatever we got to do and try to make sure he's successful.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your comments, Mr. Harris. Thank you. Mr. Clements, is there anything you'd like to say before the board votes?
Yes, sir. I'm looking at a man that finally became a man. I grew up. I'm finally grown up. Looking at a man, know he's getting old at the same time. Knows he don't have any chances left. Knows he can just make it out of his prison. One chance to get it right. I won't fail. I will not fail.
Thank you, Mr. Clements. The board ready to vote?
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Clements, you're a young man, you're 47 years old. You've got a good prison record. You've only got one write-up. You've got good remarks from the warden. Looks like you've taken some good classes. Clearly, you're remorseful, as Judge Jackson pointed out. I'm not so sure your remorse is for the victim so much as it is for yourself. I understand that. You've taken a lot of sex offender treatment. You still continue to work with that. You seem to be aware of your methamphetamine issues. You've done some good work in that. But you know, there's another side of this. In these, we have to take all sorts of factors in account when we make a decision individually.
Yes, sir.
Crime you commit can't be overlooked. You didn't commit this crime just once. You committed this crime 3 different times over a period of time. Maybe long in the past. But these are some horrible offenses, and they have horrible effects on the victims in this case. You were sentenced in this case with the full knowledge of the judge as to when this occurred, how it occurred, and you were given a 20-year sentence. And you've only served 8 years ago. That's less than 50% of your sentence.
Yes, sir.
Based upon law enforcement opposition, based upon victim opposition, based upon the time that you've served in your sentence here today, I don't believe that I'm ready to vote to let you out. My vote today would be to deny. I encourage you to continue the work that you're doing, and perhaps in time, maybe you'll get a better understanding of what this really means to the victims. After you've served a little more time, I might feel more comfortable in voting to give you your release, but today I'm only one of 3 votes. Yes, Wise?
Mr. Clements, I'm just so glad to see the family support that you have. And I want to lean in. You are very fortunate. A lot of people don't have the support that you have. Really lean in. For me today, due to the law enforcement opposition, the insufficient time served, the nature of the office, and the age of the victim, my vote is to deny. But I encourage you to reapply when you're eligible. Continue to do well and reapply when you're eligible for a review. That's what you should do.
Hi, Mr. Clemens, you have made some progress over the last meeting. I'm glad to see that. One of the things, though, that concerns me is that while you've learned that you're not to put yourself in certain situations as it relates to young girls, you haven't learned enough about you and why you're sexually attracted to children. And that takes a lot of deeper digging than just knowing on the surface that, well, I shouldn't put myself in situations where I could reoffend. Because that's not going to keep you from reoffending. Because you're going to always, there's always going to be an opportunity for you to be in a situation where you can reoffend. And unless you understand what it is that drives you to have an attraction for little girls, you're not really going to be able to move forward and deal with whatever those urges are. You need to understand, why do I see a little girl as a sexual object? What is it about you? What is it in you? Tell me why that you were not molested as a child, and sometimes we see that as a cause for an offender to offend against children because they're what the dynamics of that is psychologically, but that drives them in some respect. You said you didn't have that experience, so I'm not quite sure what drives you to do children in the light that you do. And I was a little bit concerned that you attempted to minimize your contact with your daughter when I brought it up to you. That was a concern for me. I want you to please continue to try to work on those issues, try to figure out what it is about you that causes you to have this urge. You have law enforcement opposition, you have strong victim opposition, you are a repeat child sexual offender, and you served insufficient time on this charge. And so my vote today is to deny, but I'm going to encourage you to keep doing the hard work. It's easy to sit and learn triggers, but it's harder to say, who am I? Why am I attracted to little girls? And that takes a lot of work and a lot of time. It seems to be very painful. But if you do that, then I think you'll have a much better opportunity to be released and to be successful. How about today is to deny? And I'm just going to encourage you to keep working. Don't give up, right?
Mr. Clements, have 3 votes to deny. We all encourage you to continue to work hard. You've done some good things while you've been in prison, but you've got a little more work to do. So you need to dig deeper inside. So please continue to do what you're doing and apply when you're eligible to apply again. Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Cockroach. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. This was the classic example of a serial roach, of a serial child predator. Fits the mold perfectly. There is no remorse. He was fake crying the entire time. I've seen much better performances. I don't think he brought his hand up to wipe his eyes even one time. I don't look at the screen the entire time when I watch, so it's possible I missed it. But while I was watching, not one time. Not one tear. He did not shed a single tear. It was a pathetic act. And that he surrounds himself with enablers by his sisters and his first cousin. You always see it. Miss Y says, congratulations for having family. It's disturbing, in my opinion. They're in denial. this man, this disgusting being, has a history of doing this to children that stretches since the 1990s. You might have been confused. If I didn't have the information I'm about to share with you available, I would be confused too. It's like, what's going on with the charges? And what it was is that he had served time for what he did to his stepdaughter. When he then got released and went to his cousin's house, Texas caught him in a cold case. I don't know how it happened, not a cold case, but thank you, Richard, for providing this. They arrested him dating back to 1990. He was accused of doing it to a juvenile girl on numerous occasions from mid-1990 until 2000s, and that's when he got arrested the second time. He was caught hiding in an attic, probably his cousin's attic. They start off the hearing by saying that he has 3 convictions. Then he has something that never went to court, but just his daughter, who said that he came up behind her and did that to her. And we know very well that he did. He is a serial predator. How can you support him? To think that he does this to his stepdaughter and some judge, some DA gave him a deal. They gave him 6 years. Are you kidding me? You went into a room to get a telephone and you saw her, so you did it? Are you kidding me? Look at that fake cry face. It's pathetic. Six-year sentence. 6-year sentence. Why? And then he gets arrested on the second charge, which goes back to the 90s. Thankfully, they took it serious enough and actually tracked him down and locked him up. And probably the police are frustrated. The detectives are frustrated. They lock away these roaches, and then these judges and DAs give them these slap on the wrist sentences. And now we have simply a 20-year sentence, and he's up for parole after serving less than 50% of it. And encouraging him to reapply when eligible, which I think it's just every 2 years. I believe they passed a law. Someone put in the comment section, if you can confirm it, that makes these offenses every 5 years, but not at the time that he had this hearing. It's his stepdaughter, his own daughter. And then a judge says, well, I'm only going to give you 20 years. His full term date is 2034. How long do you think it's going to take till he reoffends when he gets out? then it's going to be how many times, how many victims, till he gets caught. They even say, his supporters even say he wants to get back to his children. Are you nuts? His poor son. He hasn't had time with him. Are you nuts? He's lost the time with his children. Are you nuts? How much in denial can you be? Why aren't you there in support? Why are you wasting energy on him? Why are you not there supporting his daughter and supporting his stepdaughter and supporting the people who obviously would be close in your lives? You're related. The sisters, they're her aunt. Shouldn't they be able to love you and have you protect them? No, but you show up here to ask the monster to get out? And they don't want him to get out? What makes you do that? My daughter took things out of context. I hugged her from behind. Well, it didn't say that. Miss Jackson had to pull it out of him. Thank you, Miss Jackson. What did he do to your daughter? He was afraid she would ask, huh? Oh, she took things out of context. Okay. I'm sure his cousin and his sisters believe that sickeningly, which is nuts. Remember, it's their niece, it's their cousin. Took it out of context? You really think that his daughter took it out of context? He went and did that to his own daughter. And then they bring up, and he says, it's like you can't make it up. That's why you got to see it. You got to see it. It's got to be recorded, because what's out there? What's out there? If you were to Google him when he gets out, and he will, you know what's out there? I'll show you. This. Risk level low. Explain that to me. Explain to me how this can be a criminal record that says low risk level, when all the data from the U.S. government itself shows that they have the highest level of recidivism. Thank you. I'm not going to try again. Of any class. And I'm not making this up. We've seen it. We've gone through it before. Convicted 06 Texas. Convicted 17 Louisiana. He's convicted twice. Low risk. And it's not just Louisiana that calls him low risk. Texas does it too. This is a Texas registry. Risk level low. Why? Who makes this system? What about him makes him a low risk? His last crime he admittedly was guilty of because he walked in a room to get a telephone and there happened to be a girl on the bed. You know, again, this is part of why we do this, because we can't have our head in the sand. These things need to change. People need to be held responsible for these ridiculous systems that we have in place. It's nuts. I don't know what it's going to take to create any change. Maybe something can come from this. Maybe someone will Google him and they'll see what he's actually done, not just some website that says low risk. Also happy that Miss Jackson made sure to say little girl and not young lady like Mr. Marabella says so often. I don't know why he says that. It's quite frustrating. What did he learn? And he learned in his programs, he learned not to get high and he learned not to be around children. Yet, in their own speeches, it's my children. I want to be around my son. I want to be around my children. It's like, you two, you're like, what are you even saying? Mr. Barris said, I run a drug court and there are a lot of people, but they don't go around children. There's a lot of people who do meth and they don't go around children. So it's just, you just need to admit it, that you're a monster, you're a roach, and you should never get out of prison. And I just just don't get it. But we'll do another one. I haven't seen it, but we'll go jump in. Just hang on 1 second. Miss Jackson, Mr. Marabella again. That's wise. Ex-wife. I hope you're not in support. It is a road sharing, so. Okay.
Good morning. The Committee on Parole is called to order. Today is June the 7th of 2022. The time is 8:46. Members of the panel today are Ms. Pearl Wise, Ms. Bonnie Jackson. I'm Tony Marabella, and I will be acting as chair today. Support staff located here at DOC headquarters in Baton Rouge. Would you please introduce yourselves?
Teresa Hall, Heidi Clark,
Very young.
Our remote location is at Tensaw Parish. Would the staff at Tensaw please introduce themselves?
I'll be Major Antonio Johnson. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
All right.
Our first case today is going to be Mr. Robin Allen. Mr. Allen, would you please give us your full name and DOC number?
Robin Allen.
And what's your DOC number, sir?
755-743.
Thank you very much. Let me explain our process to you. First, I'm going to read some information into the record, and then the board will conduct a parole interview with you. At the appropriate time, we'll allow the participants who've indicated they wish to speak and have input to speak. Your daughter, the victim's daughter, Amanda Covington, will be speaking today. At the end, you'll be allowed to make a brief statement before the board votes. Do you understand our process, sir?
Yes, sir.
This is the matter of Robin D. Allen, DOC number 755-743. Mr. Allen's date of birth is 5/4/1966. He's classified as a first offender. He has a parole eligibility date of April the 11th of 2021. He has an adjusted good time date of September 16th of 2026 and a full term date of May the 9th of 2027. He is currently serving 9 years in prison on an unauthorized entry of an inhabited dwelling and molestation of a juvenile. Mr. Allen, is all of that accurate?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Mr. Allen, your case has been assigned to Ms. Wise. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Would you please answer Ms. Wise's question?
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
How's it going?
I'm all right.
Good. How long you been in jail?
A little over 4 years.
So since 2018, 5/15 of 18, been locked up?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. That's not
No,
cool.
actually, May. I come to jail in May.
Of 2018?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, all right, that's what I said, 5/15 of 18.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. The records I have show that you're the father of 4 children. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What are the age of your children?
24, 24 or 25, which is Amanda.
Okay.
20, I'm sorry,
That's okay.
38, which is Victoria,
That's another girl, okay.
and Kayla is 40.
Okay.
I want to say 41.
So you look like, what, 16, you had her or something like that.
Yes, ma'am. Well, actually, Kayla will be 38. I'm sorry, and
Oh.
my son, which passed away, is 41.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry to hear about the passing of your son. I didn't, sorry
Yes,
to hear.
ma'am.
Okay, so you got 3 girls.
He
Go ahead.
was, yes, ma'am. He was 16 when his mother and I had him.
Okay. You were 16, y'all had. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I was still in school.
Yeah, I did say, and you got married very young too, right?
I got married when I was 18.
Yeah, and the girl was 15 or 16.
My first wife, yes,
So how many times you been married?
twice.
Twice, okay. You married twice. I don't need to tell you that your charges are very concerning.
Yes, ma'am.
And I see you went through a jury trial, so you really fought this charge.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me what you've been doing since you've been locked up these last 4 years.
I just, like I say, I've been talking to several people. I've been trying to take some classes, but during the time that I was in Bossier Max trying to take the classes, they told me I had the open charge, which is the uninhabited of dwelling.
Yes.
And so I went for my interviews and everything. And then a couple of weeks later, they come and told me that I wasn't eligible because I still had the open charge.
What is that open charge with the sheriff's office?
It was uninhabited dwelling. I don't have no more charges. I'm not supposed to.
Okay, did they just haven't cleared the system? That's what I was wondering. I couldn't find it
Right.
in your criminal
Right.
history. They
I
just
was,
need, go ahead.
I'm not supposed to have no more open charges. I had one that was video vulturism, but it got thrown out whenever I took the plea on the last charge.
Okay, okay. Yeah, they are showing the still you got a detective with the sheriff's office, but I couldn't find any pending charges. So yeah, we just get that cleared out. I see that you indicated that you are disabled because of I have never seen this before, diabetes stage 2.
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
pretty tell me about that stage 2. I never heard it like that.
It's just, I really don't know how to explain it other than the fact that I have a lot of neuropathy and gout and stuff in my legs.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, I had to go to the hospital for a few days here a month or so ago because it got so bad.
I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, yeah. So I'm sure they monitor you with your medication. They're doing all they can.
Yes,
I know.
ma'am.
Okay, so you when you were not on disability when you
No,
were
ma'am.
arrested. Okay, this is something that's declined over the last 4 years.
Right.
Oh,
Yes,
okay. Okay, but sir, through no fault of yours, you have not had the opportunity to take the sex offender treatment program. Have you written to try to get moved somewhere where you could take it?
well, I've been writing letters to try to, I thought they had that here, but I haven't had no answers yet.
That's fine. All you can do is what you can do. And that's why I was asking, had you written to try to do it.
Yes,
And that's
ma'am.
all you can do is what you can do. But do you recognize that you need it? You
Yes,
need some
ma'am, I do.
that area?
Yes, ma'am, I do. I tried to take it in Bossier also, and at the time, they said I couldn't take it. I don't know. I mean.
Yeah, I don't understand. And that was the best place to take it. I don't understand what's going on either. But we'll ask classification and research that detained and we get that thing moved off the record. Because it's not in the current record either. Because I really
Well, like I say, if just possible, I'm able to make parole. I know they have classes that you can attend out on the streets, and I'd be more than willing to do anything that y'all ask me to do in order to.
Whenever you do get out, which
Yes,
is
ma'am.
2026, you're gonna be required to take classes. That's automatic.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm glad to hear that you're agreeing to do it. It makes it a lot easier.
Right.
And there were some indications that you were violated as a child. So that could be addressed in treatment as well.
Yes, ma'am.
The whole person, not only what you did to somebody else, but what was done to you. And make sure you bring it up whenever you get an opportunity.
Yes,
Thank you for answering my questions. That's all I had, Jim.
yes, ma'am.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Allen. How are you?
Fine, ma'am. How are you doing?
That's good. You indicated that you need sex offender treatment. Is that correct?
Pardon me?
You said that you think you need sex offender treatment. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us why you believe you need sex offender treatment.
Well, one, I feel like I've talked to a couple of guys that have been through what I've been through and that done what I've done. And, being in jail, you get a chance to talk to different people like that. And they told me that it benefited them in order to help keep their head clear and make them recognize what they've done wrong. And since I've talked to people and, been down here to where really I had no outside views to talk to anyone, all I've had is the people in jail, other than my immediate family. They've made me realize that what I've done is serious and very wrong. And I apologize. There's nothing I can do to back it up and take it back. but I can assure you that anything like this will never happen again. And to my daughter and my victim, I want to send a million apologies. I mean, there's nothing I can do to make her accept my apology other than just to let her know how deeply sorrowed I am for what I've done. And I was in denial for a long time, and I don't know how to explain it other than just to say I was very, very wrong, and I have no way of apologizing other than just to say face to face, I apologize deepest to my heart. Because that really is not the type of person I am. But her mother also knows I had a bad drinking problem back then that I hid a lot. And with that being said, I'm trying to also not just take these classes. I want to take some kind of Alcoholic Anonymous class or whatever it would take, you know, to help me and help myself, because it took a long time for me to realize how wrong it is. But I do recognize now that I have that problem, and God knows I want to do everything I can to change it.
Glad to hear you say that, because as I was reading your file and your interview with the police at the time that this happened, clearly you weren't accepting responsibility, and I think you used the term you were in denial. So I'm glad to hear that you have made some progress in that area, that you acknowledge what you did
Yes,
and
ma'am.
how wrong it was. Have you had a chance to think about how your actions might have affected your daughter?
Yes, ma'am, I have. And that's why I say I'm deeply sorrowed, because I can tell you, I probably got one of the best daughters in the world. She's kind-hearted. She's good. She'll do anything for anyone. She's, as far as I know, has never hurt no one. And I laid here in jail as a grown man, hiding behind walls because you can't let the guys in here see how weak you are. But I've cried day after day thinking about what I done and how wrong I was, knowing how good of a person she is. And it's just, it tears me up inside to know what I done. But I mean, there's nothing I can do to change that other than to change who I am and what I am today. I can't go back and change the past. I wish I could. It never would have happened. But I just, I want her to know how sorrow I am. And I wish to God I'd never done nothing like this.
I know you haven't had a chance to take any sex offender classes, and I think, we all agree that that's necessary. Have you taken any substance abuse classes? Have you?
Ma'am, I have to be honest, I have took no classes at all.
Is that because of where you've been housed?
Well, I'd have to say yes, because I wrote letters, and they don't have computer here. You have to put it on paper. And in Bossier, it'll show a few times that I did try to enroll in different classes on computer. But here, all I have is paperwork to back that up.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you, Ms. Darrell. I appreciate talking with you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. We'll now hear from the opposition, Miss Amanda Covington. Ms. Covington, if you will introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like us to know.
I'm Amanda Covington. I don't want him out until it's time for him to be out. I don't feel safe. I'll probably never feel safe, but that's just going to have to come with time. I know what he said, and I can't accept it at this time. So, I mean, maybe in the future I will be able to, but I've been lied to multiple times, and I've gave him chance after chance, and he's just blown it. So it's just going to take time. I hate that he'll never get to meet his grandchildren, but that's just the way it's going to have to be.
Thank you, Ms. Covington. I appreciate the courage for you being here and honestly. Mr. Allen, is there anything you'd like to say before the panel votes?
Sir, I'm just, like I say, all I can greet y'all with is how deeply sorrowed I am, and to let you know that I do have a support group that I didn't realize in my paperwork when I read it, because I'm dyslexic, that they could have been here. The way I read my paperwork was, I thought the only people that could be here today was the people that came to court with me, which was no one. But I have a huge support group, and I can give you a name that you can call, and he will verify that I do have a strong support group, which is also in law enforcement. And, you know, I understand if she says she can't forgive me right now, I can't blame her for what I've done. And she's right. I have broken promise after promise, and she's helped me get jobs. She's helped me do several things. And me being just who I was at the time, I broke her heart by quitting my job and doing other things that, you know, being selfish. I'll be honest, I was being selfish. I don't want to be selfish no more. And I don't want to be the person I was. And I just, you know, I want to try to be someone that she could look back on and say, my daddy has changed and I'm proud of him. If she don't want to be a part of my life, I can understand that, and I respect that. I'll say this, she knows where my house is. I don't have a phone no more, and probably as far as a cell phone, I'll never have. I'll have a landline when I get out, but I'll never have another cell phone. But she knows where my house is. I was raised there my whole life. If she ever wants to drop a letter or come by and say, Daddy, we need to talk, I will be more than happy. I would be grateful to be able to do that. But I will not cross boundaries by trying to get in touch with her in any kind of way, shape, form, fashion, through anyone or anything. I will give her that time to come to me. And if it means me getting out and taking classes out there, I don't know where to go to, but I know I'll be on parole, and the parole board can recommend me a class and a building to go to take whatever class it is they feel that I need. And I promise you, I will 100% dedicate my life to going to those classes, going to wherever it is, alcoholic, whatever it is I need. And I'll stand behind that 100%, and I'll beg to come back to jail the first day I don't do it. Because I promise you, I want to change my life so bad that it's ungodly.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. We appreciate your comments, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm ready to
Ms.
go.
Wise?
I too just want to extend my good thoughts to Amanda for your courage today and for what you've said. You're doing well. You really are doing well, and I just appreciate your presence today, Mr. Allen. For me, because you have not had any sex offender treatment, and the law enforcement opposition and the victim opposition, and then what was revealed in the interview, you need substance abuse treatment. And you have an 8th grade education, you need more education. For those reasons, my vote is denied. I'm gonna make a notation to file that you get moved somewhere where those services can be provided to you. And if entertainment can get moved off your record, and maybe we can get you moved somewhere where you can get the help you need. But I appreciate your eagerness to get help. That is my vote.
Thank you, Ms. Watson. Jackson?
Amanda, I hope you find some healing. I can't imagine the trauma that you experienced, and I hope you find healing from that. Mr. Allen, I do appreciate the comments that you made today. They were contrary to what you said initially when all this happened. So obviously, you've now taken responsibility and you recognize there's some serious things that you need to work on, and I can see that you're motivated to do that. But I think that the best place for you to get the services that you need is within the Department of Corrections. So my vote today would be to deny, but recommend you being transferred to another facility where you can have both sex offender and substance abuse treatment programs. I think you need that. I think you recognize you need that. And I think that will go a long way in helping perhaps one day repairing the relationships that you've been in. But my vote today is to deny, but we will do everything we can to get you sent to a facility where you can take those necessary classes.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Mr. Allen, you have 2 votes to deny your parole. My vote is likewise going to do the same for the same reasons as expressed by my colleagues. I want to commend you for your decision and request to get treatment, both substance abuse as well as sex offender treatment. So we'll make a recommendation that you get transferred to a facility that will allow you to get that treatment for you. So good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Pathetic.
The time is 9:09. We'll be closed out in Kensaw Parish. Thank you.
Pathetic. What's going to enrage you? What's going to enrage you even more is when you find out more of the facts of this case. He got 9 years. 8 years plus 1 for breaking into her house. He went to trial. This happened recently. And after being found guilty, the judge only gave 9 total years. What is wrong with you? You would not believe it unless you've seen it, and we'll go over the court transcript. It's insane. You know what the police went through to convict him? His daughter wore a camera and a microphone. They did a stakeout. She went and confronted him. He confessed to it on camera. They have a confession literally on camera, which they played in court. A jury then found him guilty, and a judge said, I'm going to give you 8 years plus 1 for breaking into her house. 9. Are you kidding me? Judges are elected into office by their community, by their constituency. This is another reason we do this. I don't know who in Louisiana who lives in this parish who elected their judge to live in there, but see it good, see it clear. There is no reason for a light sentence. We have seen the judges over and over and over again say, oh, you want to take us to court on your possession charge? 20 years. Oh, you want to go to trial for the charge about breaking and entering? 20 years. We saw a little kid, a 19-year-old kid who got 16 years because he stole candy. And I'm not exaggerating. It was an empty concession stand. No one was there. There was no weapon. He broke in and he stole candy and a soda, and he got 16 years. Sit across the judge and say, how can you justify this? Who is it benefiting? The amount of money and resources that it went to arrest him, to do the sting operation, to put him through court. Then the victims that have to be put through that, and all you do is give 9 years? The fault in this case goes on the judge. The police did their job. The DA did their job. The jury did their job. But the judge handing down a sentence. Why? Why? We're talking about committing this crime against his biological daughter over the course of her lifetime. We're talking about having a confession on videotape. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. This is a guilty plea by a jury. Are you nuts? What is wrong with this judge? How is this judge a judge? In 1997 and 1998, he babysat his daughter. I don't know why they call it babysat. I mean, I actually say I'm babysitting too, but whatever. He was watching his daughter. Now, he was watching her while her mother, who was divorced, thank goodness there was no one in support of him. On that note, he says, I have support. I'm dyslexic. I didn't know. I thought only the trial. BS. You know, these manipulative roaches with there are no write-ups and I have support. I even have support in law enforcement. Oh, sure you do. Yeah, I see them all crowding around the Zoom call. Oh no, I didn't know to invite them, but I'll give you a number. Pathetics. According to the daughter's trial testimony, because she gave testimony at trial, on one such occasion, she walked in and he was watching adult videos on the TV, and he decided to show it to her. And then he decided to whip it out and in front of her. Then he decided to digitally penetrate her. Then he decided to do oral with her. Then she told her mother about the video, but not about the physical acts. Now, this is 1997. She's born in 1991. So she's 6 years old and 7 years old, his daughter. Thereafter, the mom said, you know what? Because she told him he was watching adult videos. So she said, no way, you're not going to be around him unless there's another adult. So she, I mean, you can't, she did the right thing right there, right? In 2006, remember, she didn't know anything else happened. In 2006, when the daughter was 15 years old, she came into contact with her father on a regular basis. She visited him at his Minden home when his girlfriend was present. He had a girlfriend, right? Twice, the daughter was on the Minden house when the girlfriend was not there. So the 2 times that the girlfriend was gone, on both occasions when the girlfriend was gone, he had intercourse with her. Several years later, after the daughter married, She told her mother all that had transpired between her and Alan. But the daughter still did not want to press charges. Still, the daughter would not press charges for whatever reason, right? But in 2018, her father came into her home uninvited. And that's the 1 year charge that the judge gave him. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? It happens when she's a little girl, happens when she's 15, and then after she's married, he breaks into her house. And now she says, I'm going to press charges. Finally, he crossed the line. She contacted the police and told them everything that her father had done to her. And then they set up a sting. So she went to him with audio and video surveillance equipment. During their conversation, he made extremely explicit admissions pertaining to the inappropriate conduct that occurred when she was a teenager, including the fact that they had intercourse on her girlfriend's bed. The police were surveilling to keep her, safe. And they jumped out when it was done, and they took him into custody. And when the detectives were interviewing them, they gave a video recorder statement. In the interview, he said that he put on his whole road story, his whole manipulation thing. He said that he admitted. Oh wait, we'll get into that. So first, he admits to abusing a 10-year-old when he was about 14, and if he admits to him being about 14 and her being 10, he was probably 17 and she was probably 8, right? That's what he said. And okay, so it started all the way back then. He denied ever touching or denied ever doing anything with his daughter, denied ever watching adult videos with his daughter. He was unaware that she saw him, anything. So he denies everything with his daughter. He admits that she walked into him when he was using the bathroom. So, he tries to twist the truth. He tries to give a little bit because he's a manipulative roach. When informed of her exact claims, he said, "It is what it is. And it's her word against mine." No, it's not just her word against yours. It's on video, but he didn't know that yet. At the conclusion of the interview, the detectives informed him that they were going to take his phone. So first he said, "I don't know the passcode. I don't know it." But finally they, persuaded him to getting the passcode. And at that point, he admitted to having a bunch of child videos on his phone. We have, ladies and gentlemen, a full-blown roach here, that a judge after trial thought it was appropriate to sentence him to 9 years. Why? The record indicates, in addition to doing that to a juvenile, he was also charged with several other offenses, included unauthorized entry of an inhabited dwelling, possession of child videos. There were 4 different bills of information filed. 2 of them included charges pertaining to Alan's daughter and another victim. The charge pertaining to the other victim was eventually dismissed at the beginning of trial. that is definitely purely just legal things that they decided they had to do. Maybe that they weren't willing to testify. Maybe they thought they had enough to lock him up for a long time. But I think we can all know that there were more than just one victim. Assume. We can all assume. The final bill of information, which was filed just prior to the commencement of trial, addressed only to the charge pertaining to the daughter and stated that the offense occurred between January 1st, 1997 and December 31st, 1998. The trial was set for October 12, 2020, and he rejected a plea offer with a 10-year sentence cap. Do you see the importance of this? They offered him a plea deal, and he said no. And they went and had the costs of a trial, and a jury found him guilty, and the judge gave less than the plea deal. What? I'm not being dramatic. It's just you want to rip your face off because it makes no sense. It's an insult. It's corruption. It's something. It's madness. Value showing Allen was an opportunist when it came to the daughter and that he would engage in this sort of behavior when left alone with her. The trial court denied the motion, finding that it was the same victim that showed the pattern. As to the motion pertaining Allen recorded the statement, police, the trial court ruled mentioned that the other victim was inadmissible as a reference to Allen crimes as a juvenile. That was inadmissible. An agreement was reached whereby the state would pause and forward through mention of the crimes involving other victims while playing the statement for the jury. Evidence was presented in October 2020. Can you believe it? The trial was going on in October 2020, and he had this parole opportunity in 2022. 2 years! The daughter literally is fresh off the stand, and 2 years later he gets up and gives this speech about how he's sorry and about all this crazy stuff. And it's like, if you actually were sorry, you wouldn't be taking parole. She just got up and said stay in prison, and he's still, oh my God, you can't make it up. You can't make it up. You have to see it. You know, some people put in the comment section, you're whining. Go, don't watch it. I do it at the end, okay? You think I'm whining? Go ahead. Don't watch it. Don't watch me. I'm not going to stop. Daughter and her mother testified. The detective also testified. The audio video recording of daughter's conversation with Allen was played for the jury during her testimony. While the redacted video, which still it was video, recorded statement with the detective during his interrogation was also played. And they returned a unanimous verdict of guilty as charged. And they sentenced him to 8 years. To to be conserved consecutively with the 1-year sentence. 9 years. Are you nuts? I would like to sit with that judge and say, sir or ma'am, explain this to me. Explain this to me. Just tell me why. Just tell me why. Why do you think that 9 years is justice? What's going to happen when he gets out? How is this fair? How is this keeping the community safe? How is this punishing? How is this, I dare use the word rehabilitating because this roach is not rehabilitatable. It's his own biological daughter. Here's the sheriff department. They're pleading, please come out. We believe he's done this more. He was arrested with, and this was what he was arrested for. But remember, they only tried him for 1, but he's arrested for 2 juvenile females, including his daughter. Second girl reported to detectives that Allen had done it to her while she was in high school living in Webster Parish. Females, now adults, reported detectives that the crimes occurred multiple times 25 to 30 years ago. Detectives also found images of child videos on his phone. You can get 20 years or 15 years just for the child videos. You can. I don't know, look at the statute, but it doesn't make sense. You could have won just on that. And they offered him a plea deal and he turned it down and a jury found him. And I know I'm going on and on and on about this, but this is one of the most clear-cut cases of guilt, of doing it's not like they gave a plea deal and we say, okay, they do plea deals because they don't want to put the victim on the stand and they have to give a deal, so they do the deal. In this case, they turned down the deal. You had the witness testimony, you had the evidence, you had the full unanimous jury verdict, and you give a sentence less than the deal. This is proof that the judges are nuts. He was arrested for unauthorized entry of inhabited dwelling, but it's invasion, really. The detectives were continuing their investigation and said that there may be a third female victim. It indicates there may be a third, and further charges are possible. Cases will be investigated, even if it happened years ago. And you know what? The police have done their job. And the district attorney, even though they made a stupid offer, ended up doing their job. And everyone did their job. But the judge just wrecked it all. And that's just madness. I'm sorry for having to hear me talk for this long if you're still here. In his final speech, he literally said, yes, I did let her down. She got me a job and I quit. She knows where my house is and can come anytime to talk to me. What? Literally the 2 times that your girlfriend was not home with you, you assaulted her. He's going to be out of prison soon, and then what? I just, you just can't make it up. That's why we do this. We do this. You need to see it. We need to see it. This is something that the world needs to see. That I'll let you go.